Andrew, I want to stick with you for a second because you spent some time in Maine looking at the Senate race there where the Democrat Graham Platner is trying to unseat the longtime incumbent Republican Susan Collins. And I want to put a poll up on the screen right now. This is the New York Times polling on the popularity of the president's war in Iran right now. Was Trump right to go to war with Iran? 30%, only 30% say it was right. 64% say it's wrong. Now, you say Platner has an interesting way of talking about this. Most Democrats are just leaning into the fact gas prices are rising, the economic costs, et cetera, et cetera. Platner has that, but a slightly different take.
That's exactly right. So I was at a Graham Platner town hall event on Sunday in Portland, Maine. It was at a VFW post, and there were veterans of all generations there, from Vietnam, the Vietnam War, Afghanistan, and Iraq wars as well. And the message that Graham Platner focused on was not on the gas prices, as you mentioned, which is obviously, most Democrats would say, the most politically potent way of sort of taking advantage of the unpopularity of the war in Iran, because it's the way that voters kind of feel the impacts the most directly. But the way that Graham Platner was talking about it was essentially saying that a system, the sort of what he calls the corrupt political system in the United States, built up over decades and decades and decades, has allowed Donald Trump to take the decision to go to this war and has essentially disarmed Congress, prevented Congress from having the political will or ability to do anything to stop it or even slow it down. And something he said that I thought was really interesting was, everyone thinks that this war is stupid, is what he said, right? Referring to the unpopularity. And yet there is nothing that can be done to stop it or even slow it down. And that was the message that resonated the most with voters. He didn't mention gas prices once.
It is interesting, Leanne, because in your newsletter that went out last night, you had an interview with Dan Pfeiffer, John Heilemann did, and it's been talked about in Puck quite a bit. The president's comments that he doesn't think at all about Americans' economic conditions when planning about the war. There are Democrats who think that is incredibly fertile ground for the next few months.
Yeah, my colleague Heilemann talked to Dan Pfeiffer, and Dan Pfeiffer said that it was perhaps the most damaging political statement that has ever been made. And the reason is because you can make an assertion about the economy that, like Biden did and President Trump is doing now, that, affordability is not that bad. There's factors in the economy that are actually good. But when you dismiss people's pain and you dismiss what is actually impacting people and you say that you don't even care about it, is the argument that Pfeiffer was making and Democrats are making, that Donald Trump is completely out of touch. He does not care about people, and he's also distracted by things that the American public doesn't want or isn't important to them, including this war in Iran, including overseas, what happened in Venezuela as well. And the list goes on and on. And so that is bearing out in polling, where Donald Trump's approval ratings on issues like the economy, the issue he ran on, are so underwater. And that is what is most concerning for Republicans heading into this midterm.
It's mid-May, still a few months to go, but sooner or later, things get baked into the cake. Leanne Caldwell, Andrew Desiderio, great to see both of you. Thanks so much. Kate?